Hi, I'm Amredimundo, your one and only man of world, and welcome to this very super serious financial policy podcast.
We're being serious?
We are actually being serious for once.
Okay, I'm sorry that I
well,
started off the podcast by waving my head back and forth then.
yeah, well,
Great.
that's fine because a lot of people take this more serious than it should be. But anyway, so in the recent few weeks, there have been a lot of news and who babble about. I don't know if that's a word.
It is a
But
word.
it's been a lot of who babble about Nintendo's financial situation, especially surrounding the Wii U, which isn't doing too well, is it, Humulos?
Heck no, it's not. And we've been expecting it to kind of maybe make a turnaround because it's had a few good pieces of software, and we saw the same thing happen with the 3DS. The 3DS started off really, really poorly, and then eventually turned around once some really quality games came out. Like around when Super Mario 3D Land came out, there just seemed to be a big string of game after game after game that have propelled it to be pretty much one of the best. Well, I'm calling it the best system of the current generation. That's arguable, of course, but the Wii U, however, has not exactly seen that same kind of progression. It started off like the 3DS, where it was not selling well at all, and has continued that way.
Yeah. So, do you do you both want to just give me a quick, very quick kind of rundown on why you think that is? Because all the market analysis, of course, are going haywire and are predicting doom and gloom all over, and saying, well, Nintendo's doing this wrong and that wrong and everything. So just give me a quick rundown, both of you, why you think the Wii U isn't doing well. I'll ask you first, Tess.
Well, I'm definitely going to say just because of remakes. I mean, everybody's played the games. I've been on a tangent about the Wind Waker HD coming out. Everybody knows this. I freaking hate that game. The one Zelda game I do hate.
Just because you don't like the Wind Waker.
Whoa. Are you serious?
Yeah. Helios, where were you during that whole... Don't... Okay, you know what? Helios, your turn. I've said enough because everybody's
No. Keep going.
No,
just don't mention that ever again.
No, because there's going to be a lot of hate on me if I keep going. But definitely,
I know it's good for ratings. Keep going.
Definitely, like the remakes. Like if they're going to keep remaking stuff, they definitely need to try to make something else rather than just Mario, Pikmin, the usual content they're used to releasing. They need to do something completely different rather than just what we're used to.
I'm definitely going to agree with you on that. For part of it is that we have seen these games before. Obviously, Wind Waker was a straight up remake. Other games like Pikmin, it feels like the old Pikmins. Okay, that's awesome, but it's still great. I love it. I'm definitely not saying I don't love it. It's more of the same, and I think that's what Nintendo's getting a lot of flack for right now. The same as the other series is out there, like Call of Duty and other such things have all been called out for just doing the same thing over and over again. And
New Super Mario Brothers, I think, would be Nintendo's greatest offender of this.
For sure, yeah, for sure. It's by far their worst thing at it. A lot of people say Nintendo's in trouble with it. I wouldn't go as far as to say Nintendo's in any kind of trouble because their handheld market is dominating immensely. Yeah. But the weird thing is it seems like their best material is all going into the handheld market, and that's why it's doing so good. The 3DS has so many good games out there for it, and many of these could have easily been made into Wii U games instead. But they're all down there. Okay, so Link Between Worlds, fantastic game. I loved it. It was great on the 3DS, but it could have also been something good as on the Wii U.
Right. Yeah. Now, I mean, and they probably could have done the thing like they do with Smash Brothers. They could have cross-released titles, because Wii U isn't really... I mean, Wii U is a lot more powerful than the 3DS, but with a game such as, New Super Mario Brothers or Link Between Worlds that have kind of a sort of standardized graphics, they're nothing spectacular. They look pretty much the same on whatever system you put them on.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest problem is that Nintendo's usually able to keep themselves afloat pretty well with their own software. The GameCube era was probably looked on as the worst era Nintendo had up until now. But Nintendo's own titles in the GameCube were all pretty freaking fantastic, and and when the Wii came out, you know, those titles were also viewed pretty well as fantastic, and a lot of them made use of what the Wii could do and do differently. The GameCube was the same. GameCube, like, there are different things that the GameCube could do that weren't done before that it could do. And with the Wii U, they haven't done that, really. The best example of what the Wii U is good at is still Rayman Legends.
Oh, yeah.
And
it is, yeah.
Not
it's not even a Nintendo game.
Exactly. It's not one of Nintendo's own games. Now, Nintendo Land really showed off what could be done and how well it could be done. But that was just kind of a demo more than anything else, and it wasn't a full-fledged game.
Yeah, we have yet to see that that title from Nintendo, like Skyward Sword, for instance. I mean, Skyward Sword came really late.
Yeah, it did.
But that game really showed what Wii Motion Plus, in particular, was all about. And other games, what other Wii games that didn't have? Like Metroid Prime, for instance. I mean, the controls of Metroid Prime were so great, and they even went back and made Metroid Prime Trilogy to incorporate the controls with the earlier Metroid games, and it was even more amazing than they already were.
Like, even, like, software developers outside Nintendo for the Wii, like, Ju-on, The Grudge, that was a very good example of motion like the Wii U. The controller.
I haven't played that. I played Red Steel 2, though, and that was actually pretty sweet.
If you say so.
Not the original Red Steel.
Well, I know, but I mean, it was cool, but it was still,
But number 2 was good. Number 2 was actually really.
It was cool. At least.
More people need to play it.
Yeah,
number 2 was good. It was good.
And the thing is, Nintendo recognizes that, though. Nintendo realizes that they have a big identity crisis with the Wii U, in that.
Well, now they come to realize, and I feel like there are so many things, like, from the point where the Wii U was revealed to up until now, they've been sort of just keep pushing it, like, no, it's great, it's great, it's great, it's great. But everyone has said, well, you know, it's got flaws, it's got issues. There are some, like, weird decision-making going on here. And it's only now that they've sort of fessed up to it and come out and said, yeah, well, you know, we might have made some decisions that weren't ideal. And like you said before, a lot of people say that Nintendo's in big trouble, but, like, financially they're fine because they've got, what, like $40 billion on the bank or something like that? Yeah. Like, they can keep on losing as much money as they did, like, this year for, like, 20 more years.
And they're still going to be okay. Meanwhile, like, other companies like Microsoft that are taking a hit because of, you know, the Xbox One, per se, aren't doing that well, so...
Right. Like, speaking of the other consoles, because this is what a lot of people are saying too, and a lot of other developers, and it's kind of the same thing with the Wii, that the Wii U isn't on par, technically, with the other next/current gen consoles. Like, with the Wii, you had more of a choice. You could either make the glorious HD things on the PS3 and the 360, or you can make the cool motion controls thing with the Wii. But with the Wii U, there's not that same push towards one side. Like, while the Wii U does have HD, and it's not a bad console by any means, it just still doesn't hold up to the other consoles. And I think for a lot of, like, EA, for instance, like, they're not making any Wii U games. Like, where's FIFA on Wii U? It's not there. It should be there, but it's not. And it's like, when EA starts pulling out on you, it's a really bad sign. And I think that, a lot of developers feel like, even if Nintendo doesn't, and even maybe even like Nintendo's audience, like us, we don't value the, oh my god, the graphics, the physics, the millions of rubber ducks that can be rendered.
To go back...
Maybe, like... Go ahead.
I was just about to say, well, to go back to the EA situation, I mean, they did the exact... almost pulled out on Microsoft when they announced the Xbox One. And it wasn't just...
Well, everybody,
sort of did, yeah.
But they... Like, and that's the thing, Microsoft, they stayed strong for a little bit. But after just a few months of the immense criticism they started backpedaling and be like, okay. Just stop hating on us.
Yeah, they fixed it. All right, well, they saw the problems, they realized what the problems were, and they immediately, like, they didn't waste time with it. Microsoft went really quickly and changed a lot of their policies on the Xbox One because they saw what it was going to do to them if they kept it the way it was when they announced it. And no one would have bought that system. No one would have ever even thought to buy the Xbox One as it was revealed to us at E3. It wasn't until they went back and revised it based on that feedback that they changed it. And Nintendo's long time had a policy of just kind of doing their own thing, and by and large, it's worked out. Usually people are able to, like the games, but here's the problem is in the past 7 years of gaming, the game has just completely changed entirely.
Oh, yeah.
And with the advent of everything that's happened, especially with web content, especially with what Steam has brought to the table, there's just a lot that Nintendo didn't grab onto that they should have, and it's made everything else much more
They've always been like that, though. Just like things like online, they've been really slow with. And even with the Wii U, I mean, Nintendo Land wasn't online. What?
Right.
Was New Super Mario Brothers online? No.
No.
They've always been behind, and they took a long time. Like I said, with the Wii U, they take a long time to sort of starting to revise some of their things. And like even now, they're not even revising anything that they've done with the Wii U because it's kind of like, I mean, they don't have any policies that can be revised. They can't take things back now, like the console's been released.
But they can fix things moving forward. They've recognized it.
Yeah, and that's what they're doing, right?
The biggest thing,
do you want to talk about that a bit? Like what they're doing?
Yeah, for sure. Like
to go forward.
The big thing that I see like them doing is just a few weeks ago they did have a big announcement. It's like, hey, this is what we're doing wrong. These are the things we need to fix. The thing that I liked most that they recognized was their console ID versus the network ID. That whole thing, because right now the way it is your entire system, everything, the way you have it set up, all your games on it, is tied to that console, and if you lose it, then you're screwed. And the same with the virtual console games. When coming over for the Wii, you can transfer your virtual console games to the new system if they're available on there, and you have to pay a fee to do it. And that's just one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard, because I can install Steam on any system I want. I can install Steam anywhere, and immediately all my games will be there to download. And in an environment like that, why on earth would I choose to download a title on the Wii U when I could download it on Steam and have the assurance that I will never lose it?
Exactly. And I don't know, I wouldn't want to pay a fee just to move one thing to like somewhere else. Like it's
okay. So let's just be clear with how that works, because it's only half true.
It's entirely
so if you take no. So if you take the virtual console games and transfer them to Wii U, you can still play them like without a feed. You can just play them, but you need to go into the Wii menu and download them like on your Wii virtual Wii system.
Yes, that is true. You can still play them in the Wii menu. And again, as opposed to freaking Steam, where my save data is synced. I can start up my game on any system that any system I have Steam installed on, and it'll be at the same point. And the same with mobile games, for example. Mobile games have that down perfectly. Like when I play like Rayman Jungle Run, for example, if I play that on one device, my progress is instantly saved on a different device that I go and play it on, and it's just far more convenient.
But here's so they're fixing that a little bit with the Nintendo Network. That's the plan, at least.
Right.
So you're gonna have a Nintendo Network ID that works cross-platform, and your software is gonna be tied to that. But it's still gonna be the case that if you download a Wii U software, you won't be able to play it on your 3DS and such.
Which is unfortunate. Because I think, I'm just saying, they're really missing the ball on that. They're releasing Super Smash Brothers on the Wii U and the 3DS at the same time. Yeah. Why on earth are they not going to be synced? Like, that is a huge missed opportunity. Why are they not going to be put together? Because PlayStation All-Stars is a far crappier game, and it does it. You're able to sync your progress from one to the other. And it just seems like a hugely wasted opportunity. And, most people... I'll be playing a mobile game while I'm out, but when I'm at home, I may want to be playing it on a console. And right now, Nintendo stuff just doesn't talk to each other. There's several examples in the way that their systems work where it just doesn't do that. And I think it's a large part of why no one wants it is because, we're in a day and age where everything is stored online. Everything that we do is there. My phone, if I lose it, I don't have to worry. All my stuff is backed up, and I can erase my phone immediately. If I lose my Wii U, well, there goes all the games I paid for. They're gone.
Let me rant for a second about my problem.
Yes, please do.
Yeah. Now, I have a very specific problem when it comes to this thing, and where I do not actually want my 3DS and Wii U to be synced. You know why?
Why?
I would love to know why.
Because of Nintendo's stupid policy of region locking. See, I have a European Wii U and an American 3DS. You know what happens if I sync the two?
Everything's gonna be lost.
Well, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna be locked out from one of the eShops.
Okay.
Because if you need to have one region for your Nintendo Network ID. So if I was to enforce that region on my American 3DS, I don't know if that would even work or what would happen, but if it puts that region on there, I'm going to be probably locked out from the American. Like, I can't access the European. I'm going to hold up my 3DS. I see this thing. I can't access the European eShop on this because it's an American system. I can only access the American eShop. But if I was to switch the region and share it with my Wii U, I would probably be locked out of it, and I don't. And you're just so
tired out of luck. They should, if they do that, I would definitely say they should have an option to make it on or off. Like, because again, I'm going to use Steam as an example here because they perfected it. There is an option to sync your games to the cloud or not. It's not forced on you. I think another big problem is that we just don't get a lot of options. It's that this is what you have, this is what you're going to do.
Well, you know what would be an easier solution? Stop the damn region locking.
That too.
Steam doesn't region lock. Well, it does to an extent. Like, no, it is Steam region lock. Steam region locks to the extent that if you register as an American and you go abroad, you can still access the American Steam store and pay in US dollars. Whereas if I go to the US, I still need to pay in euros.
Right. But
so there's that. But
region locking is like one of the dumbest things I've ever seen and should never have existed. The DS didn't region lock. It was great. You can import games however you wanted. Why would they? I don't understand why they would take that away.
Yeah. And so like that's also why it took me 3 hours to buy A Link Between Worlds on my on my 3DS, because I needed to figure out how do I buy it. Maybe I can enter my credit card, right? Like a credit card info on the eShop. Makes sense, right? No, you can't do it because you can only use an American credit card in America.
What?
Yeah, I know, it's dumb because it's America. Another thing that they talked about, and this I feel like this wasn't so much like a way to bring the Wii U around or anything like that. This was more of a thing to just get more money because that's what their investors are worried about.
True.
So they were talking about maybe cooperating more with other companies and maybe not be so restrictive on their characters and their
not
IPs.
Be so 17th century Japan and realize that it is 2005 and countries aren't trying to kill each other anymore.
Yeah. So basically, they've started doing this already. We've seen, for instance, Hyrule Warriors is a great example where they kind of lent the Zelda franchise out. Well, they haven't really lent it. They're making it in cooperation with Tecmo Koei, and so they're making Hyrule Warriors. But
Shin Megami Fire Emblem.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
And anyway, so they have this realization. Well, you know what? We can actually lend our brands like Mario and Zelda to other companies that can do awesome things with it.
Two things about that.
Give them to indie companies.
A, that's not new.
Okay, that's not what they're gonna do. They're not gonna give it to anyone who can compete with them.
No, that's not a new thing they're doing. It's like they've already done that before, and sometimes it just doesn't work out. Like, remember when they gave the Metroid series to a really respectable developer who was really good at making games, and they ended up making
Ninja Theory?
It's like, I don't understand how that's a Team Ninja.
Team Ninja.
I don't really understand how that's a solution.
Who's Ninja Theory?
That matters to them because, they've tried doing that before, and look. Team Ninja just made it was very much a Nintendo developed game, right? Whoever created Metroid, wasn't he the head of that development? It was very much a Nintendo thing. It was just that Team Ninja actually, produced
I don't know,
the game.
but I don't like that one of I don't like Yeah, because, you know, it's not fair that we had to watch, you know, one of Nintendo's great heroines, what do we call it?
Heroines.
Whatever.
Obviously.
We had to watch Samus basically turn into a whiny bitch. Like, that was not cool. Like, seriously? Guys, they could have done so much more with her, but what did they do? They turned her into somebody who had daddy issues and a whiny bitch in general. Yeah. Like, no.
Yeah, but a lot of people think that's Team Ninja's fault, but it's not. It wasn't Team Ninja's fault. It was Nintendo's fault.
But whoever did it, like, seriously, they could have done a lot more, like, just the...
No, of course, and we all love hating on other M, but the thing is, it was actually Nintendo's fault that game came out the way it did. It wasn't Team Ninja. So.
And I'm not going to deny that. It's just they're presenting that as a kind of solution, teaming up with other developers, because...
Well, again, there's that, but I mean, I think they're also considering, and that's the more interesting part of this. They're not just considering other developers. I think they're considering other companies that are in other fields, like entertainment fields. Like, I think they're considering maybe
making Mario
teaming up with like people have said, for example, well, they could team up with Disney and make like some animated, you know, a movie or series or something. How about Lego Zelda? We all wanted Lego Zelda, right?
Although I'm gonna say no to the Disney. The last time Disney teamed up with a major game developer, I got really confused. I mean, I know everyone loves Kingdom Hearts, but oh my gosh.
Don't diss on don't. Okay, you're just dumb then. It's a simple concept. You go around, you save the world.
Kingdom Hearts 1 is a simple concept.
Kingdom Hearts 2 was pretty simple, too. You had organization.
Explain Roxas to me in less than 2 words.
He's nobody. He's Saurus.
And that's why it gets confusing. Anyway, no. All joking aside, though, I think that it could definitely be good for them because, you know, Nintendo is a pretty well-loved company despite everything that's been happening, and just putting their characters out there to be more accessible in more ways would be awesome. You know, as a kid, there's like a period of time where there was Mario merchandise everywhere, and I bought it in an instant. It's like, we had Mario soda growing up, Mario ice cream, and it was like, I'd take that stuff right away, like no questions asked. And then
now you have cancer.
Yes. But when I was in middle school and high school, it's like there wasn't really a lot of just merchandise available freely, and it bugged me. It's like I wanted that stuff. It's like everything that I wanted, I had to like get from some guy who made it unlicensed on eBay. And I think if Nintendo was like to do more things like that, like Lego Zelda, freaking that'd be a huge hit. And it's not, and we've obviously seen there's a demand for it.
Why doesn't you know, Nintendo gang up with like indie game developers? Because that's where everybody's going now. Everybody's going towards the indie people, and it's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, but I don't think they trust indie people. Like, oh, let's go to like a really small studio that hasn't done a lot of great things and give them one of like the most beloved franchises in gaming and see what they can do with it.
But that's
if
stupid.
We're lucky, we can end up with another CDI. I mean, that's.
Yeah,
I mean there's a risk. There's a risk with giving
there's
a franchises away.
There's a risk, but they're like indie games are like popular now. They weren't so much popular back like then. Way back when, but now they're like getting in popularity.
Well, they didn't really exist in the same way back then, and I think if there's a developer that can prove themselves, like for instance, what's the studio? Is it like Nicholas?
Nicholas, the guys that did Cave Story.
Nicholas, that did Cave Story. Yeah. Like
the guy that did Cave Story.
Those people could surely do something great with like Metroid, because they've already proven themselves with Cave Story, which is similar.
Right.
And I think there are probably some indie studios that have done like great adventure games that could do Zelda. But I think Nintendo, they have a lot of like manpower themselves, and they have people like Retro Studios that can do.
But here's my answer to that. Here's what I say about Nintendo teaming up with them: is Nintendo is who trained these people. Most of the indie games you see are love letters to old games. Cave Story is heavily built off of Metroid and Mega Man. Shovel Knight, which is coming out, or maybe just came out, is built heavily around Mega Man and DuckTales. And all these games, like these indie games, It'll Do is based off of Zelda. Freaking The Binding of Isaac, based off of Zelda. There's like all these games based off these old things because that's what they grew up with. These developers grew up learning Nintendo philosophy.
what can they add?
Say that again.
What can they add other than making
they can
like
well,
here's
what I want to get at.
You can't make a cell like they just made a Link Between Worlds. I mean, and that had some really nice new features. If they were to give it away to some small indie developer, they would really need to have someone that they knew could take something like Zelda, keep it, make something like a Link Between Worlds, where like it's still classic, but it also innovates on a big scale.
But we've seen that.
But
and I
see,
think that
any
Nintendo's
indie
big
developer
on
has that.
Nintendo's big on playing on the fact that we already like them. They're big on the retro aspect. They just released a game that's literally just a bunch of chopped up NES games. They literally just did that. And it's obvious they want to play off of our nostalgia, but they're not giving us a whole lot to like take from it. They know the retro thing is cool, but they don't know how to do it like the indie game developers do. They know which parts of that appeal to us because they're the ones that were playing those games. They're the ones that like really based their philosophies off of the retro games. And Nintendo obviously knows how much we like the retro, so that's why indie developers would be like great to team up with to kind of get that out there. You know, if you want a new Metroid, why not use Nicalis? If you want a new Zelda game, why not use Team Meat? And just like with Other M, you know, if you're blaming that on Nintendo, then it's obvious they have enough push to really like stop them from doing anything they don't want to and push them forward to do things that they do. It wouldn't be like, you know, just having that developer do it in its entirety because Nintendo's name would still be on it. They'd still have creative control overall, but I think that they'd be able to get fresher experiences based off of that because, again, they're the ones that train these indie developers in the first place.
What do you think is going to happen? Do you think the Wii U is going to keep... That's great. Do you think the Wii U is going to keep on going slow and basically becoming another GameCube? Do you think it's going to die, as some people have speculated? Or do you think it's going to become great? Like, make a prediction.
I've heard a lot of good comparisons for the Wii U online, and one of the big comparisons they do is the Dreamcast. And I'm not about to say that Nintendo is going to fail and dissolve as a company because of the Wii U, because they're not. They're going to keep going. They're going to be fine. But similar to the Dreamcast and the GameCube and other systems like that, it's going to be something we're going to look back on with fondness, but I don't think it's going to be very well accepted in its own era. Like, we're obviously going to come back and say, oh, these games are great, these games are awesome. Because you go back to the Dreamcast, it's like, oh, Phantasy Star Online is awesome, Panzer Dragoon is awesome. There was a bunch of good games on both. And, oh, well, freaking Jet Set Radio, that's a good Dreamcast game that was freaking sick. There's all these games that were great on those systems, and people are looking back on them now and loving them. And as unfortunate as it might be, I feel like that's what the Wii U is going to do, is that they're going to keep making great games. And, I mean, I'm still going to love it. I love my Wii U. I love playing the games I have on there, and I'm happy with it, honestly. From a marketing standpoint, it's obviously not doing great, but it's going to be one of those things where people will respect it more after it's gone.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to keep on going, and I don't think they're going to abandon it, and I don't think it's going to die. And if you hear anyone say, "Oh, Nintendo's doomed," and they're gonna make games on the PlayStation and the Xbox,
it's not.
People have been saying that since what, the N64.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Like, yeah, they've been saying it for almost 2 decades.
Genesis.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, that's not gonna happen anytime soon. But I do agree that I do think the Wii U is going to become something more like the GameCube. It's going to have a lot of great games, but it's not going to be like the big system.
Well, the Wii U definitely, I can say, like, it looks like it's going to have a lot of potential. It's just how they're going to use that potential is what's going to get them off the ground. I mean, making remakes, not a good idea. Like, that was, you know, maybe they should have waited later on to do the remakes, but and just give us new stuff. But definitely, if they want to start with the remakes first and then just surprise us later, I mean, all the more power to them. But I'm not dissing the Wii U. I mean, it's just that they could have came out with a lot more for us.
Yeah, I feel like the only thing that can really turn the Wii around is if Nintendo, or maybe someone else, makes that one game that really makes people excited for the Wii U and the unique capabilities it has with the gamepad, and make other, and this is the most important, make other developers excited, make other developers be like, wow, this is so cool, I want to make something that's like this awesome game that uses the gamepad in a way that no other console can do.
Totally.
For sure.
I think that's the only thing.
Yeah.
All right, so
we've hated on Nintendo enough for one day.
Yeah,
we're the best fans ever.
I think I got all my hate out for the week. I think we're good.
That's good. All right, so thank you everyone for listening to this cast. I hope that you walked out of here a little bit wiser, a little bit
went
more
to bed,
educated.
considering you're probably just watching this before bed or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but probably not.
I don't normally walk away from my computer right after watching a YouTube video.
Yeah. So, that being said, we will see you again in 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks is the month of Mars. So, big fun stuff coming around. So thanks to Humulos and Tess. You've both been absent for a long time. So.
I have not.
I have.
Yes, you have.
I have been.
I've been moving into a new house. I'm sorry.
You've been gone since like October, and Tess since like August.
I know. It's called my job. And working like 10 hours a day.
It's called being lazy and not being dedicated to this site and this franchise and our dear audience.
Hey, you know what?
I'm doing 2 videos tonight, so I'm good.
You know what? I'm totally dedicated to you guys. It's my job that comes first.
See you guys next time.
Bye.
I'm Amarimundo, your one and only man of world.
And I'm Humulos.
And I'm Tessie.
That's all. And I'm your one and only man of sky.
Over and out.
No, I want ocean. Can I have ocean?
No.